I would love to introduce my esteemed panelists. Please do come up. There's Manu, Alzuru, sorry, DoinGud. Thank you. Coming. It's Jessica, right? Alexsandra Alexsandra, right? From Nori. And there's Chauncey from the Angel. Yes. And hi.
John O'Sullivan.
John O'Sullivan from Project Arc and Carbonbase, correct? Okay, great. These are my esteemed panelists. So I'll ask you guys to introduce yourselves and a quick couple of lines about what problems that you are solving. It's often been said to build anything, whether it's a community or a product, you need 3 pillars, right? You need the IP, which is intellectual property or the original idea. You need capital, and you need social capital. And through the prism of those 3 pillars, if you could tell me what problems you're solving with the technology that you've built.
For sure. So my name is Manu. I'm the founder of DoinGud, and DoinGud is essentially a protocol that enables creators to tokenize their assets, and at the same time, whenever their assets get sold in the form of NFTs, they stream some money to social good. By doing so, basically they're incentivized within the protocol, and the tokens that they will be getting will be used for curating the different social causes that get listed within the protocol itself. So it's a way for, let's say, incentivizing communities to do good for humanity.
Very cool. Hi, I'm Alexsandra Guerra. I'm one of the co-founders of Nori. If you haven't heard of us, we're a carbon removal marketplace. We actually work with people who remove CO2 from the atmosphere. Think regenerative farmers, restore soil, the quality of soil by adopting new practices. And we account for this, and we sell this as an NFT on the blockchain. We've been doing this for 4 years, and it's very interesting now to have the NFT space booming because a lot of artists and platforms are partnering with Nori, like Rarible, Sandbox, to provide carbon negative NFTs.
Awesome. Chauncey St. John here, Angel Protocol. So Angel is attempting to deal with wealth inequality issues in philanthropy, as well as financial runway issues. So we provide the benefits of DeFi to charities without the DeFi complexity. Donations are made connecting donors to charities directly, invested for DeFi yield. So when you give once, you actually give forever. This concept of generative giving, where it's not just the one gap of being able to donate cryptocurrency, but then actually putting that to work for charities to provide them with a financial runway in perpetuity.
So again, my name is John from Project Arc. We're partnered with the World Wildlife Fund to use NFTs to fund animal and environmental conservation. The problem is that we're losing 150 species a day right now in the world's 6th mass extinction event, and we're of the opinion that art can be political, money is power, and together it can be a movement. So let's provide a place for creators to tell a story that's important, provide something that's unique and inherently valuable and rare for collectors, but also have that genuine impact, and also really help these impact organizations tell a story. It's not about just diversifying their income streams, it's also about allowing them to tell a narrative that inspires people and galvanizes them to support these causes for a lifetime. I feel that the world is full of doom and gloom, and guilt is not the best motivator. But experiential and immersive gamification and art and VR and AR can really get people motivated behind a cause, and we can put money in the pockets of the people that are changing the world.
Great. Thanks so much. These projects really kind of warm my heart, because, working in AI since like 2014 and with blockchain tools since 2015, a lot of the things that people started building back then just simply didn't work, right? We had lemon coin syndrome where they would stand alone and there wasn't a lot of interoperability. Can you tell me, within your functioning ecosystems, right, if I put $1 into a system, where does it go? How does it play and generate?
Essentially, within DoinGud, the creators that come to the platform, they set their price for their artwork. DoinGud charge nothing to creators, but what we do is that we tell the creators to actually donate a minimum of 5% to social causes. And yeah, essentially they can decide what is the amount of money that they give back to their communities or to the let's say nonprofits or NGOs that they want to support. And basically that money goes directly to the social cause on chain, and you can verify that that money went directly there.
Oh, great, bringing transparency to social venture. That's awesome.
So in Nori, I'll explain how things are now and then how they will be soon. I mentioned this, we've been around for 4 years, and we founded the company in 2017, lots of ICOs happening. We decided to take a different approach. We did not want to do an ICO and a token launch and then build the business case. So for the past 4 years, we've been building the business. We actually have a functioning carbon market. We have 10 suppliers, different farmers who have sold 67,000 tons of carbon removal and storage in their soils. That's over $1 million that goes to these 10 farmers in rural communities who are paving the way for new regenerative agricultural practices. So the NRT, the Nori removal ton, represents 1 ton of CO2 removed and stored for 10 years in the soil. That price has been $15. And then Nori charges a 15% transaction fee, because your question was about what happens to the dollar you spend, right? So for every ton that has been created and sold, the farmer gets $15. Nori charges 15%. That's what's been happening the last 2 years that we've been selling. It took 2 years to create the whole method and create the marketplace. Now, in 2022, we'll be launching the Nori token, which has always been in our roadmap. It's been in our white paper. That token will peg to the price of, or set the price for carbon removal. It's pegged to 1 NRT, 1 ton of carbon removed. So when that happens, the whole idea is then we have this token that is setting the price of carbon removal and allowing for global price discovery on essentially commoditizing, reversing an emission that comes from a commodity like fossil fuels.
But pardon me if it's not correct, but don't carbon credits and carbon trading credits, doesn't that system already exist in this world?
Oh, I'm so glad that you asked that question. So we created this marketplace 4 years ago because we looked at my co-founders and I, we looked at the existing markets and we saw that it wasn't meeting the need that we wanted to as the millennials that we were, and we wanted transparency. We also wanted to focus on carbon sequestration and storage. So 95% of the carbon credits currently available in those registries you mentioned represent avoidances or reductions. Important, right? We have to, in order to go to net zero carbon and to remove carbon, we have to emit less, remove the rest. Too little was happening in the removal. So we're exclusively focused on removal technologies, and that's why we're different.
So then do you, because I actually see such a great potential for vertical integration of an entire, you get a marketplace, you get the fund, the marketplace, and the incubator, the test trials, right? Mm-hmm. And it could be vertically integrated so that you could see the life of the token acting as a utility, as a pull-through, so that better products get incubated through the fund, and it inspires innovation by going directly to creators, to spurring that innovation, instead of just trading carbon tokens. That's what I would like to see happen in this space.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's interesting because we're so early in this space, and so you have all of our different solutions, and we're kind of starting off with these ideas. And imagine once our businesses are really good and rolling and humming, and we learned how to do the one and the second thing really well, and the third thing really well, and then the complexity of our partnerships will definitely increase to do something like that as well.
Cool. I have some great guys that you should talk to, that are in that market.
Always.
So, yeah. Awesome.
So many touching on Web3 and composability, and it's so powerful these days. And Angel Protocol is really focused on that decentralized Web3 ethos. And to your point, I don't think that selfless altruism is the answer, right? It's about positive incentive alignment. So with Angel Protocol, it's really about a win and help win ethos, where we aim to be the world's largest decentralized charity. So owners of the Halo token actually own the protocol, have governance in the protocol. And the way it works is any charity in the world can go set up an endowment for free. We take a 10% performance fee on top of that endowment yield. Out of that, 5% goes to the actual Halo stakers. The other 5% goes into a treasury waterfall. We're pioneering the world's first decentralized autonomous nonprofit organization, Dano. So the OpEx is actually capped by governance, and then any funding, once it fills that OpEx, then waterfalls into subsidizing fees for charities. What's really exciting about this is what we've built is a horizontal endowment financial primitive. So we've got a number of verticals that we're going to establish after our initial charity marketplace that will feed revenue back to the original Angel Protocol Dano, making that performance fee actually zero and effectively paying charities more. And just quick note on the whole composability and where we are with Web3 and interoperability, because what we've been really blessed with is leaning into that abundance mindset. So we're building on the Terra blockchain. We were in one of the first hackathons, and we've been able to get over 60 different protocols, NFT projects, validators aligned on a giving pledge, basically blockchain CSR. And these are both direct donations. It's also more creative stuff like Olympus DAO has recently partnered with us and selected us as one of their first approved partners for their Olympus Give product, where OMIs can actually redirect their yield into the Angel Alliance. Angel Alliance, a pool, we've been able to raise over $700,000, and we haven't even done our full public launch yet. So there's so much in this space, just leaning into talking to other creators. And to your point, we're all experimenting and learning so quickly and learning from each other that it's such an early formative period that the more we can stay connected and build on each other's work, the faster we'll all move together.
So the question was, where does the dollar go? And I think for Project ARC, that very much depends upon the project that we're doing. So our Genesis drop that we did supported the reintroduction of endangered European bison back into the wild that went extinct in Europe in 1920. We facilitated via NFT gamer passes the rebuilding of nests for the endangered South African penguin. It very much is a choose your pick your poison type project, but we've also facilitated the relocation of 4 endangered leopards, and next year we'll be doing 45 endangered rhino and 75 endangered giraffe. So the largest relocation in human history of endangered species. We also have a wonderful project, which I don't know if I'm violating NDAs, but let's just say there's an area of land that has a lot of oil underneath it, and we're going to digitize and monetize and NFT the land so that that oil stays in the ground. And that's a model that we hope to export to all different vulnerable conservation areas around the world. One thing that I think that if you were to put $1 in now, that we're going to be launching the next month is our ARC Launchpad. So every day I speak to some of the most amazing conservationists and wonderful human beings in the world that are just at a loss. They're spending 2/3 of their day fundraising when they should be out, doing the work that they were trained to do. And we're going to create a launchpad so that people can look at a project and then be early investors and make sure that it gets to market and that impact can be created. So there's no shortage of wonderful causes. There's no shortage of artists that are willing to give their time and effort, and I don't think there's a shortage of people that will be really motivated by these projects. So how do we facilitate that, host that, and get them the investment that they need, and offer the white glove services to sort of take them to market as well?
It's beautiful. Thank you for your good work, all of you. It's really inspiring. Actually, we just did a partnership with Hangry Animals NFTs. It's a Hollywood franchise. Full movie, 3D animation, original soundtrack with hip-hop artists I can't name. But they generously donated a basket of NFTs that's going directly to 2 different elephant conservations for endangered elephants in Bali and in Sumatra. So it made me really excited when you said, we're relocating and storing the animals. In terms of, when it comes to social causes, transparency, right? We talked about in terms of interoperability, you guys all have in spades, right? One of the divides that I find frequently, the dichotomy that annoys me the most about social impact is that people think that there is a rift between doing good and making money. If I say social impact in a room of investors, they usually roll their eyes and go like, oh, it's not gonna work. I'm not gonna make any money, and you're not gonna be built. But I've always been of the position that there is no dichotomy, that stewarding the climate, stewarding living beings, and a thriving ecosystem must unfold the economic cost of economic growth of those communities around it. Why don't we just pay people to do the right thing? Can you tell me how your systems enable this?
Yeah, for sure. So we've seen how different DeFi protocols or different DAOs have started their economies. And the way that they have done it is basically airdropping governance tokens to the different participants on the protocol. So for example, a clear example of the giving economy is Gitcoin. Is the best example, I think, right now in the market. Is probably a 2 billion or 3 billion already protocol. And basically what people were doing on Gitcoin was just donating money to different projects that basically are completely open source. And then after that, what Gitcoin did is that they airdropped their governance token to all those people that participated in the different rounds, and basically they bootstrapped their DAO using that. So people that were giving money to different causes most probably got like 10x or 20x what they gave. And it's not about the money that they gave that is valuable, but like what came afterwards, what is valuable. So to me, enabling communities to have decision making or having like any sort of governance within their protocols is actually like the way of creating networks. So it's not necessarily extracting value from those that are creating, let's say, the circulation of money within the protocol, but actually, reward them instead of taking from them. So that's basically what we're trying to do here with the DoinGud protocol. The people that are going to be participating and giving are basically going to be governing the protocol, the DoinGud protocol. So there's also other ways that we can monetize. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to monetize, but it depends on how you extract that value or who you extract that value from. So we ourselves, we don't want to take anything from creators. The way that we're doing it is that our NFTs are going to be pre-minted or lazy minted, how people call it, in multiple chains. And basically, the creator doesn't even need to have any crypto wallet to launch the NFT. So when it gets sold, the collector is the one that is paying for that minting fee. And basically is deciding in which chain they want to hold it. The same way as you do it in the real world. Whenever you buy a piece of, let's say a piece of art, you would think, should I put it in a wall? Should I put it in a vault? Should I put it in a gallery? In the digital world, is behaving exactly like that. So people are deciding where they want to hold their asset. If it's an asset that is worth $100, maybe you don't want to hold it on Ethereum, because the transaction fees might be $400 or $500. So, like enabling people to decide where they want their asset to live in, we think is a good way of, basically having more, let's say, more interoperability between all the different things that the creator does. So the creator doesn't even need to think about in which chain they're going to be releasing their creations. They just come in, they post, like they're used to do it on Twitter or on Instagram, and basically when it gets tokenized only when it gets bought. So so we're not going to be extracting any value from the creators.
Just from the holders and investors on a transaction fee.
Correct.
So like 10 to
2.5% fee.
2 point. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks. I hate fee creep and transactional creep.
And that's the collector who's paying for that fee. So it's not the creator.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Lady, please you tell me.
I'm going to be completely honest. I forgot what the question is because I got so hyped up on your pretext for the question, which was the dichotomy of doing good.
How do you do good and make money in your system, enfolding all the participants of those who choose to participate so that they can hold the value in their hand?
Sure. Thank you. So I do want to talk to the context of it, though, first, which is this dichotomy. I think we get this all the time, right? Like, oh, are you an NGO? Is Nori an NGO? If you're not an NGO, then how do I know you're doing something really good and impactful, not some greedy scheme, right? Like
I get the opposite. It's like, oh, you're part of an NGO or you helped found one? Oh, they're evil. They shut down this mine that employed like 600 people. Yeah.
So you can't win, apparently, in the eyes of these people. But that's a small percentage of people, I think, because more and more people are realizing or having an abundance mindset. And the fact that that's even a term or a phrase is a sign that our mentality as a culture is shifting. It's evolving, right? We are talking, I saw on Instagram yesterday an ad for how to say the alphabet, a new way of saying the alphabet. A is for abundance, B is for bravery, C is for compassion. And I'm thinking, well, hell yeah, that's what I want. Like, if I have kids one day, that's what I want to teach them. And so that, to me, is a sign that we are now valuing those things. So maybe before we didn't realize losing biodiversity in the rainforest was an issue. Taking away land that all of these beautiful animals on this planet are now becoming endangered is an issue. So we culturally are having value to biodiversity, to saving wildlife, to restoring the planet, to empowering underserved communities. We value this. The more we continue to talk about it, we increase value. So I needed to say that because that is the fundamental thing which drives the value of anything, right? So at Nori, like I said, you can pay for a ton of carbon removed. And to transparency and us being blockchain backed, every time you buy something or carbon removal on Nori, you get a certificate. And if you go to nori.com, you can scroll down past some stuff and you'll see the 3 most recent transactions. You can click on those certificates and you'll see the name. You know, John Smith bought 16 tons of carbon removal. The average American emits 16 tons of carbon every year. And then you scroll down. And then you can view it on the blockchain. And you scroll down, and you can view that project. Then it takes you to the project page, and you see the farmer. You can see where it was located, what methodology, because methodologies change, protocols change, was used, which version, what they did, what they planted, an independent third-party verification report at the bottom. And then guess what? That page, because these projects have to last over a period of time, a farmer, if they adopt regenerative agricultural practices, need to maintain those for some time, and they make a commitment with Nori. So we'll provide updates on that page. So the thing that you buy, this NFT that's in this certificate, is always linked to a project page that you are consistently able to view what's happening, right? And Nori makes a promise that we will provide that information to you. So essentially, the value that you get is knowing, I've got this certificate, here's my name on it, I paid for the removal of my carbon for 2021, and then I'll do it in 2022, so on.
Love this topic. So I feel like Web3 just changes the entire game, where an abundance mindset is actually required. In this world where everything is open source or users demand for it to be open source, we can all learn from each other, we can fork each other at any point, right? So you mentioned intellectual property in the beginning. That in and of itself is I feel, has changed, where you have to be community first and you have to have an abundance mindset, because if you have a scarcity mindset, people are not going to gravitate towards you and you are not going to build and advance as fast as you could. And the whole topic of nonprofit, I feel like it is a legacy of an old broken system that we will eventually replace. I think in the future, I can envision a world where the idea of a nonprofit doesn't exist, because a nonprofit is effectively a Band-Aid over a defect in society. And I think B Corp and this idea of combining where everyone wins is the real way, because it's natural human incentive. What do we see play out again and again? People have these idyllic dreams and then they get jaded because XYZ didn't happen. Were the incentives aligned the right way is the question. And everything about society is around incentive alignment right now. And with Angel Protocol specifically, that means incentivizing alignment between charities, donors, and stakers of the protocol. So Angel Protocol seeks to be an infrastructure improvement for the nonprofit space. And that means it's inclusive, right? Any nonprofit is welcome to sign on to Angel Protocol, substantiate an endowment, draw people to their cause. But if you really want to get visibility on the platform and tap into these CSR initiatives and automated donations coming through, you have to engage with the community in a way, because Halo stakers will be able to stake against specific charities they want to support. When they do that, they get a share of the endowment yield from that charity. But we've also worked with Delphi Digital to design this in a way where it's not just a race to the largest charities, because we have bonding curve mechanics, where if you stake to a charity early, you will get an outsized share of that reward. So what this is really cool is we're really focused on small and medium charities and empowering community. So anyone, anywhere in the world, if you have a local nonprofit, NGO that is helping your community in an effective way, you can get them onboarded to Angel Protocol. You can stake Halo against them. You are supporting them, raising their profile on Angel Protocol, while also taking a share in their financial success. And because you're the one who onboarded them, you're one of the first people staking to them. So it tries to drive this where we're really empowering the community to bring charities to Angel Protocol and help serve as ambassadors.
I love it that you said the word bonding curve and charities. That's amazing. That's wonderful. That's right. Please, go ahead.
So I feel like everybody here took like all my points, so we're all in agreement. But I think at the end of the day, we're the activist consumer generation. Nobody wants to associate themselves or purchase or buy into a brand that isn't doing something of some good, or at least has the bare minimum of morality, right? And so I'll pivot a little bit and talk about one concept that we're interested in, which is corporate social responsibility projects in the NFT space. We can turn CSR from a cost center to a revenue generating center. An example of a project that we are hard at work to do. Let's say any brand wants to build their logo in the world's largest underwater art installation that turns into a living, breathing coral reef. So let's say Nike puts up 250 grand to build this underwater swoosh. Well, then we NFT every single one of the corals that we plant, some of which have never existed before in human history because they're creating climate and pH resistant, heat resistant coral. And then you NFT those. And then we have a partnership with Chainlink where we can create quote unquote living art, where the art will evolve and change and grow more colorful as time goes on chain. So those NFTs that are purchased by, let's say, 5,000 member community, Nike now has a direct, Web 3 relationship with these people. Everyone has skin in the game and a stake to watch this thing grow and develop over the course of a lifetime. They can shoot commercials at it. They can do giveaways for it, right? But everyone there can act as, that NFT for that coral reef. Increases biodiversity, increases carbon drawdown, employs the local coastal population to actually grow these coral. It's a win-win-win-win scenario for everyone. I think that's kind of the same thing that everyone's been saying, is that how does every single stakeholder walk away with something of value? And I think that's kind of what this space offers to everyone.
That just blew my mind, by the
Oh
way.
my God, I love it.
I want someone that I want to own the
You
part
got
of this,
it.
this
We'll
Nike
get Nike on the
swoosh.
phone.
Yeah, they're brands I totally want to hook you up with for sure.
I don't see who wouldn't want to do something like that, right?
Exactly, it's so
Yeah.
cool. Oh my God, thank you guys so much for the inspiration and for your good work that you're putting out there. I hope there are many collaborations and where we can come together and talk off stage as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.